Hey guys, just wanted to send out your weekly message. First off, happy Easter. I hope y'all are enjoying some good family time. I know this isn't your normal Easter. It's not in our household for sure. But it's been some good family time. Indoor Easter hunt this year, and I think we've watched Trolls World Tour at least a dozen times this weekend. And yes, my middle daughter said, "Hey, you need a mohawk," and my wife and I decided, why not? So, silver lining. It has been not your normal, but it's been some really good family time. I really hope that y'all are enjoying that as well. Do want to give you all a little heads up about what's coming up. I know your essay is due tomorrow. Some of y'all have already turned it in. That's awesome. Some of y'all are wrapping up. I've answered a few questions on it. But please, anything you need, just let me know. But I hope that's going well. I do want to talk about what's coming up next. We are going to be starting to read Dracula. We'll start reading that tomorrow. And I'm going to go ahead and just like I would have on my board in the classroom, I'm going to have a schedule up of all the due dates for the rest of the year. That way, you know what's coming up. I'm still going to make these weekly videos. We're still going to talk about what is up next, but I just want to make sure that y'all are good to go and y'all know what is going to be expected to go. I tried my best to find a good balance between what the high school is expecting you to do and then what the college is expecting you to do. And I think I found a pretty good balance of that. But let me know. Like I said, I'll post that tomorrow, so I'll be able to give you an idea. So as far as Dracula goes, let me get a little bit of a background on it. Bram Stoker wrote it in the 1800s. The idea of the vampire wasn't a new idea, but this was a original work. Um, and it's the first true story that really popularized the vampire idea, and especially the Count Dracula. Um, it is written a little bit different. It'll take you a little while to get used to it, but it's what's called an epistolary. Okay, with that, it means instead of being written like a normal story, it is written instead as if it is a collection of journals, newspaper articles, medical logs, all of that. And then it's all fit together to tell a complete story. Now, obviously, it is fictional. Bram Stoker wrote it all. But one of the interesting parts about it that you do have to get a little used to is paying attention to who is writing. Because this book definitely has what is known as dramatic irony. That is a term basically meaning that you, as the audience, know more than what the characters in the book know. Um, just to think of it as a real quick thought, just the idea of the audience, don't go in that room because you know the murderer's in the room, but of course they don't know that. But that's the idea is you have to realize that when you're reading Jonathan Harker's journal, for instance, he doesn't know what's going on back home with his fiancee Mina. When you're reading Mina's letters to Lucy, same idea. You don't know, or Mina doesn't know what is happening with Jonathan as he's trapped in Dracula's castle. So it's just little things like that. It kind of makes it a little bit more interesting, a little bit different read. So just so you know, like I said, I'm going to put up the calendar, but we're going to read the first 10 chapters are going to be due on the 24th. So that's 2 weeks for 10 chapters. That week, so on the 20th, that Monday, I will go ahead and post about 5 questions that you will have to answer by that Friday. So it'll be kind of a write up over 10 or 5 questions over the first 10 chapters that you'll do a write up on, kind of like you would if we were sitting face to face in class time. You would have a quiz due that day. So this write up will kind of be your reading quiz idea. Um, but the first thing that we're actually going to do, we're going to start tomorrow we're going to do a little bit of research and you're going to actually create a presentation. We're going to have a little bit of fun with it because I'm actually, well, fun for me. I'm actually going to make you present it. So what you'll do is it's all going to be background information. I made it as random as I could as far as what topic you'll be doing. I'll post all that tomorrow. I'll post the assignment tomorrow. But just to go over it a little bit, after you make the presentation, you slides, Prezi, Slide Rocket, Movie Maker, anything like that you can use. Then what you'll do is you can either use Screencastify, which is where it'll record your voice as it's just looking at the screen, and it'll show you clicking on things and showing things like that. Or you can straight up, have your presentation on your laptop, set up your phone, and just film yourself presenting the information. Um, but essentially, the topics, there's 8 topics. And like I said, you don't get to choose. And I made it as random as I could. But it's all kind of background information for the book. The first one is the basic biographical, tell me about Bram Stoker, his relatives, all that sort of idea. The second one is going to be the vampire background of Dracula. Like I said, the idea of the vampire wasn't something that Bram Stoker came up with. So where did he get that idea? Previous stories, novels. You'll discuss a man named Vlad the Impaler, which is credited of the first vampire. And then the second one is the gothic and horror suspense genres. So that's going to be in general, define what gothic fiction is, define what horror and suspense are. You're going to write kind of a brief description of Dracula, just sort of Google what the summary is. And then you're going to tell me what gothic and horror suspense elements that you find in Dracula. Then the next topic is going to be specific 19th century Gothic. Just like nowadays, superhero movies are what the big deal is right now. In the 19th century, when he wrote it, this is when the Gothic story was huge, the Victorian Gothic. So this is where you had Dracula, you had Frankenstein, you had Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde, the Portrait of Dorian Gray. These are just some of the ones that are, Edgar Allan Poe was writing his poetry. So all of this was really happening. So you're going to talk about that and why was it so big then? The next topic is going to be modern versions of Dracula. So this is going to be the one that's kind of fun. And see, how did they change it? They make sparkly vampires now, stuff like that. Then, one of the big deals in this is going to be psychoanalysis. When Stoker wrote his story, that was new. So you're going to talk about that. Victorian society in general, and then the last one is the Industrial Revolution. All of these things had influences on this book. So these are the different research topics that you're going to have. So you're going to start that tomorrow. I'll post it tomorrow in the class. You'll start reading tomorrow. The web quest, the presentation and everything is going to be due on Monday the 20th. And then, like I said, Friday the 24th is when you need to have the first 10 chapters read. I'm trying not to kill you. I know you have other classes. I'm trying to do this as easy as I can and giving you the information up front. But as always, please let me know if you have any questions, anything. Same, your essay that's due tomorrow. Let me know if there's any questions or anything like that. But I really do. I hope everything is going well for y'all. And email me if you have any questions. Thank you.